Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin our program. Kindly keep your phones on silent. I will request all of you to please rise for the school song. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Much better. Good morning and a warm welcome to the Callum High School Annual Day for the year 2016-2017. We are thrilled to have you here as always. This year, the theme of our annual day is East Meets West. The songs and dance performances by the students are an amalgamation of the East and the West through Bollywood dance numbers and Hollywood music, along with the values of Callum High School in sync. India has produced fantastic music through Bollywood, and Hollywood has given us brilliant classics that you will have the pleasure of witnessing. Our chief guest is an Indian who resides in the United States of America, and keeping this in mind too, we decided upon the theme for this year, a fusion of East and West. So ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let's put our hands together and begin our program. Welcome again to the Callum High School Annual Day for the year 2016-2017. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our honored chief guest for today, and on behalf of Callum High, I will request Noshirwan Kayani from Standard 1 to please extend a token of appreciation to our chief guest. Ma'am, could you please come up on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. A louder round of applause to Noshirwan Kayani. Thank you, Noshirwan. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the principal of Callum High School, Mr. Vivek Geete, to make his principal's address.
Good morning, everyone. I should say happy morning. I welcome today's chief guest, Mrs. Sonu Thadani Israni, all trustees, other dignitaries, and parents on the behalf of the Callum High School management. It's been a year with Kellam High. I thank Mr. and Mrs. Thadani for giving me this opportunity to work as the principal of Kellam High School. I feel perhaps this is the best school available in Pune, where I'm working for last 1 year. And I hope you all are having the same feeling. Though school was running smoothly with Monica teacher, but it needed little professional touch. So where I could help her out little bit. Things like proxy register, exam department, documentation, where I gave my little inputs to get the things done smoothly, more smoothly than the last year. I remember last year I assured all the parents that soon Kellam High will be affiliated to CISE. And I can proudly share with all of you, our first batch of ICSE will appear for class 10th examination in 2019-20. So bless our kids who are going to appear for the examination in 2019-20, not only for the first batch, thereafter, wherever we have our first batch of class 10, the ICSE batches, I want all of you to bless our children for the best result. I congratulate all the winners of year 2016-17 and hope to see new winners too this year. So thank you so much for your implicit faith in our school, in Kellam High School. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We're very happy to have you here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to invite the president of the Aryama Education Foundation, Mr. Harish Thadani, to please come and say a few words and to also introduce our esteemed chief guest for today.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You've been seeing me here for quite a few years now, and you know I speak without a piece of paper. But this is the first time you've seen me carrying a glass of water to this podium. And that's because I fear I might choke today. I'm going to introduce to you two people. The chief guest for today, Sonu Thadani Hisrani, and my sister, Sonu. Sonu has done her education in psychology. She's worked with some of the finest movie directors of India. She went on to do her MBA in the United States. She's worked with some of the best high-tech companies in the world in telecommunications. She's moved on to be a teacher, and currently she's a director at the Stanford School of Medicine, where she works with one of the finest brains in the world, and their team's research is what the education of tomorrow is going to be. That is the chairman. That is my introduction to the chief guest, Sonu Thadani Hisrani. If I compare my life to a boat on an ocean, then I am the captain of that boat, and the winds that blow the sails of that boat are the love and blessings of my family and friends. The rudder with which I control where I want to go are my children, Maid and Jaini, and my wife, Monica. But like every good captain of every ship and boat, you must always look at the compass. A compass which you refer to say where you're going and where you should be going and what you've left behind. My sister Sonu is the compass in my life. I have referred to her many a time for everything from love to family to business. And I'm lucky to have this compass in my life to direct me in the right direction. I give you my sister Sonu.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our chief guest, Mrs. Sonu Thadani Israni, to please come up on stage and felicitate our prize winners. Absolutely. A round of applause. There's only one rule at prize distribution. You have to clap really loudly. Ma'am, on stage, please. All right. Please start clapping or I won't call the prize winners. You have to be louder. Come on. All right. Prizes for Standard 7, first in class, Akanksha Mahapatra. Second in class, first in Hindi, first in maths, Rishabh Bajaj. Third in class, Advika Shah. First in English, Varun Jamwar, who isn't here today, but you can clap for him. Prizes for Standard 6, first in class, first in English, first in Hindi, Sara Kuad. Second in class, Bhavjot Singh Aluwalia. Third in class and first in maths, Arpit Kudre. Prizes for Standard 5, first in class and first in Hindi, Zara Pathanwala. Second in class, Ishan Kankaria. Second in class and first in English, Sara Mehta. Third in class and first in maths, Ashita Pamnani. First in maths, Mahi Sakla. Prizes for Standard 4, first in class, first in math, first in Hindi, Varad Walde. Second in class, first in English, second in maths, Nakia Singapuri. Second in English, Kavina Budrani. Second in Hindi, Ekas Rajpal. Best handwriting and neat work, Soumya Ranka. Team prizes. Prize for the senior football girls goes to Aquila. Senior football boys, Phoenix. Senior basketball, girls, Aquila. Senior basketball, boys, Cygnus. The Athletic Cup and the Best House Award goes to Aquila. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special segment for the prize distribution every year, which is the surprise winners, which is truly a surprise because they have no idea they're winning something. So there are 3 categories that I'd like to tell you about. The first one, this is for primary school till standard 4, Best All-Rounder, which is based on academics as well as extracurricular activities, along with upholding the values of the school. This prize for this year goes to Hitansh Parmar. The Best All-Rounder for the Annual Day 2016-2017, Hitansh Parmar. The next one is the prize for the maximum progress. It is given to the child who shows steady progress over the course of primary school years and continues to improve in extracurricular as well as academics. And this prize for this year goes to Kavina Budrani. Last but not the least, we have the prize for the Star of Callum, based on excelling in extracurricular activities, and it goes to Liam Vaz. I would request all the prize winners to please come up on stage. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Hardeep teacher. Thank you, Pooja teacher. Prize winners, please come up on stage to say the school pledge. Ladies and gentlemen, here's presenting the prize winners for the Annual Day 2016-2017. Here they are. Round of applause. Congratulations. You can smile. I request all of you to please rise for the school pledge.
Callum High School. With hearts filled with courage, we hold our heads high. We are the stars of Callum High. With compassion we shall overcome anger, envy and hate. To follow the path of truth and make our lives great. With God and love within us, all goals within reach. No challenge too high for us, as we believe in the powers of each. We shall approach all activities with humble hands and creativity. To live up to our motto will be our duty. Let's all say loud: courage, compassion and creativity.
Thank you. I would now request our esteemed chief guest, Mrs. Sonu Thadani Israni, to please say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I have many identities, and you're seeing some of them here today. You heard my brother talk about the fact that I'm his sister and the oldest of 3 kids in our family. I'm a wife, my husband is here, we've been married for 35 years. He was the boy next door in Pune, in Vivekanand Park, where we met. His grandparents were my neighbors, and that's how we met. My lovely daughters, of which one is here, Maya. My older one is not. I have friends I have known in the city of Pune since I was 3 years old. We met in St. Helena's High School in preschool, and we stay in touch all these years later. I have other identities from a professional space, and you've heard about some of them today. I started out studying in Pune, and then went on to SB College, and then to Sophia College, and then to the United States to do my MBA. You've heard of my many academic chapters, as well as my many professional chapters. I was a filmmaker when I first started out, producing and directing films for the European market in India. After that, I worked in high tech in Silicon Valley, doing marketing and sales and business development. And when my first daughter was born, I decided I could not juggle being the kind of parent I wanted to be and being the kind of professional I wanted to be as well. So I went to work part-time and pretty much stayed home as the primary parent for both my daughters. And I'm very happy I did that. And then in 2008, I decided to re-enter the workplace as a full-time employee and was fortunate to get hired by Stanford University. And over there, I'm what's called an intrapreneur, basically an entrepreneur but inside the university. I work with our faculty to dream up new things, create them, launch them, and operationalize them. I currently serve as a director for a new center that I helped found called Presence, the Art and Science of Human Connection in Medicine. I've also had the joy and pleasure of creating, launching, and continue to run a master's degree in community health and prevention research, and so on and so forth. If you're interested, I'm sure you can Google me and find out more about all that. The real question is, what made that possible in my life? What made it possible for the daughter in a family where my parents came in 1947 during the partition to Pune on a ship with pretty much the clothes on their backs. And my mother never finished high school because she moved from Karachi to Pune, and the languages she spoke were not the languages of the school she came to here in Pune. She never finished high school. She was brilliant, but didn't finish any degrees. My father finished high school studying by streetlights. As the oldest son in his family, he was their breadwinner. My grandfather was blind, and he had to go out, and he basically sold boot polish on the street corners of Pune to help his family. So I come from that family, and here I am standing in front of you, and I have the joy and pleasure of often standing in many audiences in different places addressing them to talk about what makes this possible and why it's important. Let me start with why it's important today and to you. One of the roles I play at Stanford talks about how do we prepare our students for the 21st century. In the 21st century, we expect technology to continue at the pace it is or more. We expect artificial intelligence to start doing a lot of work that humans do. It's already started in manufacturing, for instance, or we don't ask people for directions. We all open up Google Maps or some equivalent of that, and endless other things. In the School of Medicine, we talk about how much of medicine, the work of physicians, we expect to see automated. So the question becomes, how do we train and educate our students for the 21st century, where the one thing we do know is that automation is here and will continue to grow. So how do we prepare them for the unexpected? How do we prepare them for a new world? I'd like to start by telling you a story of how I got prepared for this 21st century. I owe it to my parents. And the reason I owe it to them is because they parented us. They were present in our lives. They were there for us. My father came home for lunch every day. We had dinner as a family every day. We had breakfast as a family every day. On weekends, we spent time together. Some of my fondest memories are living in the third floor of a building in those days called Aga Khan Estates, and I think it's since then become part of a Dreamland property near the train station, near Pune station. We lived on the third floor, no lift. We walked up and down those stairs. Summertime was be hot. There was a very tall neem tree that basically grew alongside our home. And my mother would sit down in the balcony with us, 3 kids on the ground, with one thali. In that thali, there was rice, there was dahi or curds, papad, and she would make a morsel of rice and yogurt and papad and feed it to us one by one and tell us stories. Stories about her lives, stories she made up about the sparrows and the crows and the tree and the neem tree next door, stories about, from the Ramayana or the Mahabharata, stories from books she'd read, and stories are very, very powerful. There is a lot of research in medicine today that shows people who read fiction are actually more empathetic. And why is that important? Because machines cannot be empathetic and will never be empathetic. The future of work on our planet will lie on those of us who have human qualities. Human qualities that can never be created by machines. In Japan, in the world of elder care, they use robots to lift elders from their beds into a tub for a bath and back. Because robots are strong, they can do it comfortably, they don't throw their back. But they also hire human beings to sit with their elders and just stroke them and touch them. Because that lack of touch makes humans irritable, crabby, miserable, unhappy. I'm not saying that our children will become the people who will do the stroking of elders, but I am saying that our children will have to have skills. And I think the World Economic Forum actually outlines it best. And over here, I'm going to refer to my notes because I did not memorize this part of things. They talk about how are we going to prepare youth for the future of tomorrow. And they talk about basic foundational literacy skills. These are skills that Callum High School teaches. Literacy, numeracy, literacy in science and technology, finances, civic and cultural. Upon that, they emphasize the competencies in critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, and collaboration. I'm delighted to see that many of these are values within Callum High School. And finally, what they do is they outline the character we must develop. And these include curiosity, persistence or grit, initiative, adaptability, and leadership. So how do we develop those qualities in our children? I can only speak about how we look to develop those qualities amongst the students we have at Stanford University, on how I chose to do it with my daughters, and how I believe my parents did it for me. And again, I'll tell you a story. One of my favorite memories is of Saturday mornings. My mother would hire a cycle rickshaw. I was in elementary school, and she and I would climb into the cycle rickshaw, and it would take us to Pune Club Library. And I would get to borrow 4 books, because that was the limit of the number of books you could borrow. I would return the 4 books from last week. I would pick up 4 more books of my choice. And the library was probably the size of this stage. And she dropped me off at my father's office on East Street. And I would sit in the office and I would start reading my books till my mother was done with her errands or my father was done with work, and we'd go back home for lunch. And every Saturday, my mother and my father did that for me and built in me this love for learning. So when I switched from filmmaking to technology, from that to consulting and coaching, to working in a school, in a university where there are 7 schools, and I've worked in the School of Education. I now work in the School of Medicine. I've worked in the School of Humanities, Law, and Business. I'm a voracious reader even today. And that reading for those 4 books every Saturday from Pune Club Library, I think were the anchor of what made me a curious person and a willingness to learn. I'm on the right side of 50, which is my side of 50, and I don't dye my hair. And I still have those strengths and those qualities in my character that were put into me by my parents. So I speak to you as a parent who juggled work and life in a country where we don't have as much help as many people in this country do. Find time for our children. Be present for our children. In a day and age when technology takes over everything, when our phones go to us with work and school and play and even in our beds, put those phones away. Be present for our children. Tell them stories of your life, of your parents and grandparents. Hear from them the stories of their day at school, with play, with their friends. Because it is that bonding, it is that being present for the people we love that enforces in them the character skills and traits that we will need in the 21st century to differentiate us from the machines that are here to stay and will keep growing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was truly inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Mrs. Monica Thadani, Director of Callum High School, to kindly present the annual report for the year 2016-2017.
Respected Chief Guest, trustees of Aryama Education Foundation, our dear guests, respected parents, my extended family of Callum, that is my staff, and my adorable students, our Callumites, a very good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the annual day for the year 2016-17 of the latest CISE School of Pune, affiliation number MA 207. Last academic year was a successful and eventful year. As school began on 2nd of June, the systematic and painstaking paperwork started for the ICSE affiliation. Along with the daily academics, our teachers tried to impart a hands-on learning experience in various subjects. On World Environment Day, Standard 5 undertook a plantation drive in our school itself, whereas Standard 3 onwards tried to spread awareness through handmade posters. Our first inter-house competition was the quiz on the 8th of July. The participants of the 3 houses were divided in the junior category of standards 2, 3, and 4, won by Cygnus House. Yes, you may clap for the Cygnus House. And the senior category with standards 4, 5, 6, and 7, won by the Phoenix House. Soon after, the children started the selection for the Zilla Parishad football and basketball tournaments. Teams got ready for the under 14 matches. For the first time, our children of standard 6 and 7 played an inter-school sports event. And as usual, our children made us proud, with our girls' football team emerging 3rd in the district level. On 4th of August, upholding the values of Callum as our theme, we celebrated the annual day of 2015-16, where the president of Aryama Education Foundation, Mr. Harish Thadani, unveiled the vision and mission statement. Putting it on paper ensures that the institute lives forever with the same values for which it was built. For the first time on 15th of August and then again on 26th of January, the Indian flag was hoisted at Callum High, where our Hindi teachers prepared talks and songs in our Rashtra Bhasha to inculcate a feeling of patriotism in one and all present. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Nikita Shah and Mr. Vishal Shah, parents of Harsh Shah of Standard 6 and Arav Shah of Standard 2, for gifting the Indian flag to Callum High. The nation thanks you too. Regular exams for secondary school and tests for primary carried on as usual as we geared up for our primary and secondary concerts. Days of practice to put up a good concert and excellent bonding with our students makes this month tiring yet exciting. Themes from Africa for the legend of the beating drum, to France for La Parur, Indian biopics of Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Buddha. Every script, music and dance is enjoyable. I would take this opportunity to thank my teachers, assistant teachers, Mary teacher for her music, Kiran teacher for her grooves, Suzanne teacher and Pranati teacher for the background effects, all of which put together is perhaps better than Bollywood. Our children also participated this year in the Pune Musical Inter-School Choir Festival, as our larks gave their best. 6 months into the academic year, we were ready for the last day of Diwali break. Our school was lit with candles once again to celebrate Diwali. And a special Diwali break started with the excitement of our trip with the secondary school to Hyderabad. After sightseeing, the adults were tired, but our children had no intention of calling it a day. One very delightful experience came to light. When we entered the mosque, our Calamites, Hindu or Muslim, covered their heads and bowed down in reverence. When we entered the Birla Mandir, our Calamites, Hindu and Muslim, bowed down again in reverence. A very important observation. Respecting culture and religion of all made us feel that in this path of creating leaders, Callum High has definitely done something in helping them become leaders of tomorrow. We took them to many historical sites. But what was the highlight? The DJ Bollywood night at the hotel. Do they dance? And do they know all the lyrics of all the songs? If only they knew the words in their textbooks the same way, life for us would definitely be very simple. Then came the much awaited news on the very first day in Hyderabad. During the bus journey, we got the news that as we get back to school, the CISE inspectors would visit us to complete the last leg of formalities for the affiliation. Before the inspection, the children were part of our mock fire drill last November. The infrastructure with wide staircases on both sides helped us evacuate the building in a record time of 1 minute and 3 seconds. This certificate issued by the Pune Fire Department was another added feather in the cap during the inspection of documents by Mrs. Anthony and Mr. Gardner. We also organized a dental camp for the children, for which I would like to thank dentist Dr. Tanveer Kaur, and an eye camp for which we are thankful to Dr. Vimal Parmar, father of Akshan Parmar of Standard 3A, for bringing his team to school. School reopened on 7th of November and the office staff got busy. On the 24th of November, Mrs. Monica Anthony from Baldwin High School, Bengaluru, and on 1st December, Mr. Russell Gardner from St. Thomas's College, Dehradun, visited Callum High. We know we are a good school, but their inspection just confirmed it. They checked documents. Remark, yet to see a school with such transparency. They checked the grounds. Remark, the children are lucky to be in such a lovely school. They checked our classrooms. Wow, huge. Library, excellent books. Laboratories, these labs are the best we have seen in any school that we have visited so far. Overall remark, no one can stop your affiliation. And in a record time of 15 days, they submitted an excellent report to give us that much awaited number, MA 207, affiliated to the CISE on the 15th of December 2016. With our first batch ready for ICSE in March 2020. I would like to thank Mr. Vase, our consultant, for all his guidance, Nilesh Sheller, our accountant, for keeping all the financial documents clean, our principal, Mr. Vivek Geete, for answering all their queries, and a very special thank you to our admin head, Mrs. Pratima Natarajan, who worked extra hours, came in on Saturdays, and worked double shifts through the month. Thank you, Pratima. The time had come now to thank the Lord, and within 15 days of receiving the affiliation, we had the Mata Ki Chauki at school. Thank you all who joined in this prayer. Our inter-house activities carried on, and on 20th of December, we had our inter-house elocution competition where Miss Aisha Irani adjudged Aquila the winners. Thank you, Mariam teacher, for all your effort. December is the month of educational outdoor trips. Our pre-primary children went to the 7 Wonders at Sahakar Nagar. Standard 1 went to the Railway Museum. Standard 2 went to Dorabji's Supermarket at NIBM as a part of the social study lesson, Our Neighborhood. Standard 3 visited the Blind School as a part of their lesson on Helen Keller. Children of Standard 6 and 7, along with their teachers, visited Radio Mirchi, got first-hand information on being a radio jockey, and were on air. I sincerely thank Mrs. Roshan Dhariwal, mother of Sara Dhariwal of Standard 2A, for arranging this wonderful experience. The children of Standard 4 and 5 also became environmentally friendly when they partnered an NGO to make newspaper bags for from all the newspaper they had collected at school. The year ended with our Christmas party, and reopened with all the excitement of the sports week, which also included a day for the pre-primary sports. Dances, drills, inter-house sports activities always make January a fun-filled month. The athletic meet was won by the Aquila House. I thank our sports masters, Sachin Chaudhary and Vikas Mali, for all their efforts in helping make our students champions. Next month saw the pre-primary concerts, and in February we had the Inter-House Choir Festival. Though Aquila won the competition, the singing by all the students was commendable. My report may be exhaustive, but the year passed really fast, with children getting ready for their final exams. By the end of the year, as a director of Callum High, I actually felt taller by a few inches. I got a new name, Callum Mom. In case of trouble in class, they come to me for advice and sometimes even a yell. In case of sharing a happy moment, they come to me for a hug. Thank you, parents, for your faith. Thank you, teachers, for being my extended family. Thank you, Mr. Geete, for taking away so much of my workload. Thank you, Harish, Mahit, and Jaini, for believing in this dream. Thank you, my children of Callum High. You mean the world to me. Stay blessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the entertainment that we promised. As mentioned earlier, our theme for this annual day is East meets West. You will see a blend of wonderful Indian and Western melodies, each representing the theme as well as the core values that Callum High School stands for. The students and teachers have put in great efforts to put this together, and we hope that you enjoy it to the fullest. Life is a journey, and each one of us has to walk the path, make some easy and difficult decisions, and correct choices that will lead us to achieve our goals. Just like the kite that soars high into the sky is kept grounded by its string or manja, our students of Callum High School are kept grounded by their core values and yet have the desire to fly high fearlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, here's presenting Standards 7 and 8 with a beautiful dance that portrays just that. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Standards 7 and 8. If you believe, hope, and have aspirations, you will get up and keep going because life is never a dead end. The students of Callum High School are instilled with such strong beliefs that even if they get knocked down, they will get up again. And no one and nothing will ever keep them down. The students of Standard 5 and 6 will now present an energetic dance. So please give them a round of applause. Thank you, Standard 5 and 6. That was superb. This next performance is a special dedication to our chief guest, who grew up listening to this famous musical group, as have many of you. Standard 7 and 8 will be singing an ABBA medley. The songs have been carefully selected to also reflect their lives here, like Thank You for the Music, since music is an integral part of their learning experience. I am number one, as each Calamite believes that they are number one. And of course, an ABBA medley would not be complete without money, money, money. Put your hands together for Standards 7 and 8.
To help me go
You're unchained by your own sorrow. In your eyes, there is no hope for tomorrow. How I hate to see her like this. There is no way you can deny it. I can see that you're oh so sad, so quiet.
Chiquitita, you and I know all the heartaches come and they go and the stars still leaving. You'll be dancing once again and the pain will end. You will have no time for grieving. Chiquitita, you and I cry, but the sun is still in the sky and shining above you. Let me hear you sing once more than you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine, oh yeah. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, singing the dancing queen. Money, 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 must be funny in a rich man's world. Money, 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 always funny in a rich man's world. All the things I could do if I had a little money. It's a rich man's world. It's a rich man's world. Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you? Mamma mia, does it show again? My, just how much I miss you. Yes, I've been broken hearted. True, since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go? Mamma mia, now I really know. My, I will never let you go. Mamma mia.
Thank you, Standard 7 and 8. That was fantastic. Difficult circumstances may rise time and again. The earth beneath your feet may crumble. You may fall, but you have to stand tall. This is the mantra that all of us at Callum High School follow. Giving up is not an option. When you fall, let fear not grip your heart, and let it motivate you to fight your way up again. Standard 5 and 6 will sing the famous track, Skyfall, from the James Bond movie, Because of course, our Calamites are nothing less than James Bond. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you, Standard 5 and 6. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here today.